welcome everyone to the Foul Mouth Spiritualist Podcast. I'm your host, Balraj Gill, and I'm excited to bring you and have some exciting conversations about telepathy and remote viewing. We'll be exploring the cutting edge of consciousness and connecting with the unseen world. So whether you're curious about the power of your mind or want to gain a deeper understanding of the mysteries of the universe, you've come to the right place. Tune in and join me as we talk about telepathy, what it is, and then if you want to practice like I do, I'm going to give you some tips. So before we go into the tips, let's define what telepathy is. Telepathic communication refers to the transfer of information or thoughts between individuals without the use of the physical five senses. This is very important. So it is without the use of the physical five senses. It is often associated with psychic or paranormal abilities and is not scientifically proven. So I don't know. I think most of us have had telepathic experiences, and the easiest one we've all had is you think about somebody and all of a sudden they phone you. I mean, how often does that happen? And in some cases, like, you might even want to think, what is deja vu? Those deja vu moments that you have when you've been in a place that you know you've never been in, but it feels like you have been there. This just happened to me on my recent trip in Halifax. I was walking by a church and I literally felt like I had been to that church before, but I've never even been to Halifax. I had such a weird deja vu moment. And that's when I started practicing sending telepathic messages to people. So how can you enhance your telepathic abilities? The first thing you want to do is you want to consider to turn off your physical senses. Now, if you don't meditate, you can achieve this by taking a restful position. I like to sit up. I like my spine really straight because your spine is the one that conducts the energy into the mind, and it helps you create images and visions of whomever you want to send the message to. So wear loose clothing and start understanding your breath. And when I say understanding, be the breath. I'm not saying meditate. I'm not saying meditate if you're not a meditator. Just really recognize how deep you're breathing. Visualize the organs that the breath is going into. You want to do this for about a minute, really concentrating on the breath. Then, if you're not a meditator, you can even consider those blackout goggles that you can get in order to get rid of the five senses. Do everything you can to really hone down the senses. Now, if you're a meditator, you are very lucky because at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to soothe your mind and you're going to engage in meditation. You want to meditate and just let the colors come through if that's what happens. Whatever's coming through, just recognize that the mind is starting to quiet down. Breathe deeply and slowly. So now you have control of your breath. First you observed your breath, but now you have control of your breath. So breathe deeply and slowly, making a conscious effort to banish all distracting thoughts. Visualize these thoughts dissipating as you exhale. This is for the non-meditators. If it's difficult to get into a no-mind position, you can try this. Focus your mind on a single idea and aim to meditate for, I would say, try and do this for 3 minutes or so. And the more you do this, the easier meditation is going to get. I mean, we all know this. So when you've achieved a peaceful, centered state, you're prepared to attempt telepathic communication. Keep in mind that both the sender and receiver should aim to relax and calm their minds. So it's a lot of fun if you set a time with another meditator or somebody who you want to, like let's say it's your husband or a really close friend that's really into spirituality as well, or meditation, whatever. You can set a time, be in your home and allow them to be in theirs or in different rooms, and sit together when you do these exercises, the tools that I'm about to give you. So once you're in that peaceful, centered state and your five senses have been blocked out, we can start sending the telepathic message. You want to visualize the recipient of your telepathic message. With your eyes closed, create a clear image of the person in your mind, imagining that they are right in front of you, sitting or standing. Use your imagination to include as many details as possible, such as eye color, physical appearance, and posture. This is really important. The more honed in you can get with your imagination on how they look, like the details, exactly what you see them and how you see them looking, the better it works. If you are located far from the receiver, it may be beneficial to look at a photo of them before visualization. As you reinforce your mental image and send it to the receiver, have them relax and strive to be receptive to the message. Encourage them to clear their mind and picture you with as much detail as possible, as if you were right there in front of them. And this is so fun. You will be so surprised at how well this works. Next, you want to conjure the sensations associated with communicating with the person. Recall the emotions you feel when you interact with them in person. Focus on these feelings as if the person were actually present with you. Hold on to these emotions and have faith that you are establishing a connection with the other person. So really get into those emotions and feel all the feelings at this point. Start with a basic image or word. This is the next thing. So once you've got into your feelings, now let's recap so far. You've imagined the person. You have a really good, vivid imagination of them set in your mind's eye. Okay? Then you are feeling all the feelings that remind you of that person. Okay? The next thing is you want to put a basic word or even image. So now this is another image. It's image on image. Okay, so it's up to you. Whatever you feel more comfortable or whatever is easier, do that. As a beginner, keep it simple, such as an object nearby. See it in your mind's eye with as much detail as possible and concentrate solely on it. Visualize its appearance, texture, and emotions it evokes. For example, imagine the person holding an apple and see it clearly in your mind's eye. Think about the taste of the apple, the sensation of the person holding the apple, the person biting into the apple. Maintain your focus on the apple and the person that is receiving the apple to the exclusion of all other thoughts. Sending the message. After creating a vivid mental image of this person, and then the emotions behind it, and also this person doing something with a different object, imagine the object being transferred from your mind to the receivers. Visualize yourself facing the receiver and mentally say the words or image you're transmitting, such as apple, in your mind's eye. See the look of the comprehension on their face as they understand your message. So now what we're doing, now that you yourself have visualized that person biting into the apple, maybe enjoying the apple and whatever they're doing with that apple, just maybe it's pure enjoyment. Maybe it was their first meal in 3 days. Who knows? So now that you have put this in your mind's eye, now you're going to start transmitting. All right? When you transmit in your mind's eye, see the look of comprehension in their face as they understand the message. All right? So you understand the message of them biting into the apple and loving it. But now when you send this message over to the person, you are going to detach from your own image a little bit, still carrying and holding their energy, holding space for them. And you're going to visualize to what they are feeling once the apple gets to them. So they grab the apple from you and they take a bite, and whoa, maybe you were right. They had been fasting for 3 days and this is the best thing they've had in 3 days besides water. And maybe you were right. Or maybe they take the apple and they have a different comprehension of the apple. So really note in your mind's eye their reaction to the apple. Remember to remain focused without straining. Maintain your concentration on the mental image while remaining relaxed. After transmitting the thought, let it go and don't dwell on it. Imagine you've given it away to the receiver and you're no longer retaining it. It's done. It's over. Now, if you're doing this with somebody, this is the fun part. Get them to record their thoughts. After transmitting the message, the receiver should stay relaxed and receptive and take notes of any thoughts that came to mind. Encourage them to write these down for future references. Also, jot down the thought you intended to send before checking in with the receiver. This will help you maintain objectivity when comparing results. Compare your notes after you've both written down your thoughts. Show each other what you've written. If the results are not what you expected, don't be discouraged, especially at the beginning. Take a break to clear your mind, and then again with a different image. Remember to have fun while you're practicing telepathy. So look how much fun that is, right? And the more you practice, the better you'll get at this. And honestly, you're going to be so amazed once those like psychic connections and powers really hit in. You're going to be so amazed at how well you sent that telepathic message and how well they were able to receive it. It's just been such a game changer for me, and I hope it is for you too. But remember, I just want you to please, so this is really important. We do not infringe on other people's free will. All right. So really watch what you're sending, because this is also your karma. If the other person isn't willing to receive, they're not going to engage. You're not going to telepathically receive from them either. There's going to be, you're going to feel like a roadblock kind of. It's like stagnant energy, it feels like. Then leave it. Let it go. You don't have to attempt it again, because everybody has free will. You can't force telepathic thoughts on anybody. I love you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed and learned something from the podcast. Bye.